It's time now for us to unveil International Women's Day Finesse on the JoyNews channel. Now, for the introduction, I don't often script my thoughts, but yesterday, before I went to bed, I knew exactly what I wanted to say, so I wrote it down. Here it goes. Before the world told us who we could be, we were just people, full of dreams, ideas, and boundless potential. But the world has its own labels, its expectations, and its ceilings. Today, we remind the world that we were never meant to fit into boxes. We were meant to break them. I remember how I preferred to climb coconut trees with my brother over helping my mom in the kitchen. And she told me that that would not earn me a good husband. Mom, look at me now. Now, today we're marking 30 years since the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. It's a defining moment when the world committed to gender equality, not just as a charity, but as a favor, as a fundamental right for women. Now, that commitment called for women's full participation in decision-making, economic empowerment, and freedom from discrimination. 3 decades later, we've made progress, but let's be honest. Too many women still face invisible barriers. Too many young girls still hear, "You can't," before they've even tried it. Today, on International Women's Day, or as we mark International Women's Day, we refuse to be defined by limits. Let's celebrate women who dared to defy, who climbed higher, and who spoke louder, and who made space for others. On that note, let me welcome my co-host for this morning on the AM show. We have the affable, ever beautiful Emefa Akosi-Adeti. Hi, Emefa.
Hello, sweetie.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And happy International Women's Day to you.
Happy International Women's Day to you.
To our viewers.
And right beside MFA, we have Sarah Mensah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, sweetie. Happy International Women's Day to you.
Many happy returns,
you look
darling.
so beautiful this morning.
Thank you. And of course, Mamiesi Nyameche Thompson.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone. I'm glad to be here this morning. Happy
Great.
International Women's Day to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank
So the purpose of this conversation is to highlight the significance of this day, the theme that we are celebrating around, and what it means to us. So, Mamiesi will get us started.
Indeed, we'll get started. MFA will take us through the theme of the year, the celebration that we're having. But really, I get this question all the time, and I think we should put it to all of us to answer. Who are we as women journalists? Now, start with you, MFA. Let's hear from you.
Well, before we go to the theme, I like to identify as a woman who is a horsepower that provides a lot more energy to younger women, even older women, who can draw from me. And so I must draw from a deeper world to be able to also provide for people who do not have the opportunity to draw from that particular world. And that's not what we're looking for as women. We want that every woman is able to dip their hands into that one well, which not just one person is able to access. So there's accessibility for all of us. And this, before I go to all of you, will fit in this year's theme for the International Women's Day 2025 that says that for all women and girls, rights,
Yes.
equality, and empowerment.
Sweetie, I'll come to you. Since you're, channeling all of us, our energies, let me come to Sarah. She's quite young in the industry and venturing into journalism. How's it been for you so far?
It's been a wonderful experience and also a lot of challenges, as a woman. Let me start from, some of the challenges as a women face. Women are such a wonderful personality because we are able to do a lot of things at a time. We multitasking. So let's say a mother is supposed to go to work every morning, but at the same time has to take care of the children at home, doing house chores, making sure that the man is okay, the children are okay, taking them to school, making sure they've eaten. So we do a lot of things. I think women should be noticed this year. Yeah.
Indeed.
Right.
And drawing from what Sarah just said, we're multitaskers. And also being journalist as a woman is not easy. In fact, it's been one of the, I think, challenging careers for women because the career is very demanding. Me, for instance, will have to come to work as early as 5 a.m. And sometimes I leave here late. From there, I go to school, then the routine continues. And if you have husband and children at home, you also to ensure that everybody is well. And these days, you're partnering with your husband or your partner. It still puts a toll on the woman. But these days, I think that women are really trying. They're doing well to multitask. put everything together and still stand up as confident women or women journalists as we are, bringing to the fore all the, questions and then, asking the right questions, putting government on the accountability, how do you call it? Platforms and all that to get them to be there. So women are really, really trying. MFA.
Wait, we have a big question though.
Before you go, I think we haven't heard from Sweetie.
Because
Sweetie is trying to dodge from this.
No, I'm enjoying listening to you.
What Sweetie did was just to assemble us here and then get a moment to take a moment for herself.
Yes.
Okay, so now beyond, Sweetie mentioned the Beijing Declaration and it's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be a blueprint to which we achieve this women empowerment goal. There have been challenges.
Indeed.
Because no longer you realize that we're women, but we are not the same. And so the question really is, are we seeking equality or equity? Because within even the levels of women would be that woman A has special and peculiar needs to achieve a certain goal, and the woman B would have special and peculiar needs to achieve a certain goal. And so in providing equity for every woman, then we climb up to achieving equality, which is a genuine challenge, and I can understand. But do we have the tools to achieve that equity for nearly all women so that we're on our journey to achieving equality if we can? But, ma'am host.
You guys are so lovely. The question about who we are as women journalists. Journalism started for me as one of those crazy ideas I get. I like to think that, I like to call myself a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I dream, I want to do this, and then, okay, how do I do it? I set about to look for the tools, the education, and then I go on and do it. And I think I'm as tenacious as they come. You can't break my spirit. So for me, journalism, because I realized that I became interested in the politics, the development, democracy, and how we practice this as a nation. And how can I also participate in that? How can I also use my voice to hold our leaders to account? That's why I ventured into journalism. Now, having been in here for a while, I mean, even if I want to limit it to JoyNews, I've been here a little over a year. And I can tell that the work we do around the clock, trying to bring you news stories, trying to let you know, exposing our leaders and some, controversies and all that, it takes a toll on us that we don't really talk about.
It does.
There are moments that I just put my phone off and take a break because I just cannot consume any more media. I cannot consume any more news because it's so negative.
Yeah.
Often I'll say on the AM show that I wake up looking forward to discussing positive stories, saying something about how we are making progress, but it's always constantly, the negative reports and things that aren't going well and we are lamenting about it. I think today, as women who are working around the clock to actually bring these stories, these exposés, progress on updates on our, our development trajectory to the public, I think this day is as important to us as women journalists as it is to every woman in every other sector.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we are the forefront.
Exactly.
You know the things happening in the country because we go out there to bring you those stories. So that's what it means to me as a woman journalist.
It's very important. Well, drawing on the theme, it's been 30 years today. When that
tomorrow,
Beijing,
actually, just to be clear,
exactly.
It's tomorrow, except it came quick and early for us.
But we're actually celebrating it a day ahead.
Yeah.
I think we've made so much progress. I mean, not belaboring the point, but our first ever vice president is a woman. It was unheard of before, but now it's been made possible. She shattered those ceilings for us. Now, beyond that, there's some form of, we've even achieved the level of, I would say, equality or even equity in education. These days, the women, the girls or the students, the female students, far outnumber the guys in the classrooms these days. When you go to the classroom, the females are more than half of the number in the classroom, which I think it's a very good thing that we've done. And there's some statistics here from the UN. It says that for legal protection before 1995, only 12 countries had legal sanctions against domestic violence. Today, there are about 1,583 legislative measures in place across 193 countries. And that's some progress. Access to services. The Beijing Platform for Action demanded essential services like shelters, legal aid, those, counseling, healthcare for survivors of violence, and it's close. I mean, in Ghana, you can mention so many. There've been those those who've been propagating that for women. It's so much. And our very I won't say our very first lady, Nana Kunedo Ajiman Rawlings, you remember, she was at this Beijing conference, and she, pioneered some of the women groups that we've had in this country, the 31st December Women's Movement and the rest that have, changed that, status quo against women. Okay. Now, many women are vociferous in pushing the agendas of women. And so I think for Ghana, we've really gone ahead in that regard. And I think that more can be done as well, and empowering more women to take competitive roles, especially in politics, in the boardrooms. They shouldn't just look down on the women and think, or pitch women against each other. We're one.
I like that point, Mama. Yes. And just to, before MFA comes in,
maybe Sarah.
Sarah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think
right after that.
To achieve all these, we need, our young girls need to be empowered. So the women up there who are fortunate enough to have big opportunities, their voices are out there, they have, what's the name? They have influence out there. I think they have to empower the young girls. There are lots of young girls in rural areas who wants to be like us. So what are we doing to help them? We go to communities for community outreach. We need to help them. A woman can pick at least 5 girls, empower them, put them in some training, support them. It could be financially. You can support women to also grow, girls to also grow up to become like you. They are watching us so happy, watching us on TV. Oh, Charlie, I want to be like this lady. What are we doing to help those girls?
MFA, before you come in, I want to also announce that as part of our JoyNews International Women's Day Finesse, we'll be bringing you impactful stories on phenomenal women doing incredible things in the various sectors. Also, we will bring you up close with all your female anchors, reporters, producers here on the JoyNews channel. We're calling it #JoyNewsWomen. And so because we are here, I would like us to take a look at our profiles for #JoyNewsWomen, and we'll come back. MFA takes us into the theme.
Mefa Akosia Adeti is a news anchor, marketing consultant, entrepreneur, and former beauty queen with a strong commitment to maternal health and women's empowerment. She's the founder of Hairs a la Mode, a luxury hair and beauty brand, and the Help Foundation, which focuses on women's health and economic empowerment. Through the foundation, she has facilitated NHIS coverage for 500 women in rural communities and provided vocational training in the fashion and beauty industry to equip young women with sustainable skills. MFA has collaborated with leading brands such as GTP, Onga, Cindy Rice, Lele and Bedita Pharmaceutical and TFHO. She holds an MBA in marketing and a Bachelor of Laws both from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. Her work spans media, business and philanthropy, reflecting her dedication to impactful social development. Philosophy: empowerment begins with opportunity. When women are given the tools to succeed, whether in health, education or business, they uplift entire communities. Through storytelling and impactful journalism, I strive to inform, inspire, and ignite change, ensuring that every voice is heard and every story has the power to transform lives. Tia Bochi is a force in Ghanaian media, known for her sharp insights, fearless journalism, and unwavering commitments to impactful storytelling. As the host of Women Power Politics on JoyNews and the co-host of the AM show, she leads bold discussions on politics, governance, economics, and national issues, bringing clarity and depth to every conversation. Beyond the studio, Sweetie is the founder and project lead of Girl Get Up Africa, a non-profit initiative dedicated to empowering young women to rise, lead, and reach their full potential. Through her work, she has cultivated a platform that amplifies women's voices, challenges societal norms, and inspires a new generation of leaders. Her achievements speak volumes. Recognized as Broadcaster of the Year at 40 Under 40 Awards 2024 and nominated for Journalist of the Year Women's Choice Awards, she continues to break barriers, redefine narratives, and shape conversations that matter. For Sweetie, journalism is more than a career. It is a mission to inform, empower, and transform lives. As we celebrate International Women's Day 2025, she stands as a testament to the power of voice, vision, and resilience. Here's to every woman using her platform to challenge the status quo and create lasting change. Sarah Mensah is a dynamic journalist with the Multimedia Group, passionate about politics, governance, and community development. She plays a key role in producing some of Ghana's most impactful political programs, including PM Express, the Mandate, a voter education show, along with several influential radio programs. Through her work, she contributes to shaping national conversations and providing insightful political analysis. Beyond journalism, Sarah is also an entrepreneur and philanthropist. She is the founder of City Code Collection, a unisex boutique in Sakaman that offers a diverse range of fashion accessories, reflecting her keen eye for style and business acumen. Her passion for social impact led her to establish the SM Cares Foundation, a charity dedicated to supporting orphans and vulnerable children, ensuring they have access to essential resources and opportunities for a better future. As we celebrate International Women's Day 2025, Sarah stands as a testament to resilience, purpose, and impact. She continues to break barriers in journalism, business, and philanthropy, proving that women can excel in multiple fields while making a lasting difference in their communities. Here's to every woman shaping a better future. Emefa Apawu is a seasoned broadcast journalist and news anchor renowned for her commanding presence, incisive interviews, and ability to dissect complex national issues with clarity and depth. As a leading voice in Ghanaian media, she brings courage, intellect, and authenticity to every platform she graces, earning her a reputation as one of the most trusted journalists in the country. With years of experience in radio and television broadcasting, Emefa has covered major political, social, and economic events, shaping national conversations and holding power to account. Whether she's anchoring the news, moderating high-stakes discussions, or engaging audiences on pressing societal issues, her work is driven by a deep commitment to truth, fairness, and public interest journalism. Beyond the newsroom, Emefa is a mentor, advocate, and role model for aspiring journalists, particularly women looking to make their mark in the media industry. Her journey is a testament to resilience, dedication, and an unwavering belief in the power of journalism to inform, educate, and drive change. As we celebrate International Women's Day 2025, Emefa Apawu stands as an inspiration, a woman who has broken barriers, shaped narratives, and used her voice to amplify the stories that matter. Here's to every woman leading with courage and conviction.
I love that. So this is the first batch of our series, JoyNews Women. We want to bring you up close to the women working round the clock every day to ensure that you don't miss anything happening in this country.
Right now.
Coming up next, Emefa Adeti takes us through the discussion on the theme for this year.
Quickly, we earlier told you that for the theme this year is zeroes in on for all women and girls' rights, equality, and empowerment. Now, what does that mean to you only, you women watching us today, so that we're not, taking you out of the conversation? You take a minute to want to think about the theme today and even beyond today and ask yourself, what does the right, equality and empowerment mean? I'm sure and certain, Mamieti, that our constitution and our laws in this country would make certain rights grounded for women in this country. But the question is it fulfilling enough? Is it going a long way for us to achieve this particular theme and beyond? What's your take?
So I'll start with Article 27 of the Constitution, Clause 1. It says special care shall be accorded to mothers during a reasonable period before and after childbirth, and during those periods, working mothers shall be accorded paid leave. Clause 2 says facilities shall be provided for the care of children below school-going age to enable women who have the traditional care for children realize their full potential. And then the last clause, which is clause 3, says women shall be guaranteed equal rights to training and promotion without any impediments from any person. I think this, encapsulates the theme that we just spoke about. And it's very important that this is in our constitution, which means it's law. That has to be implemented. Whether it's been implemented now as we speak, I think sections of it are being done in various sectors of our economy, or even in this country. At least women who are working are paid when they go on leave. You have about 3 months leave when you are breastfeeding or have newly given birth, and then women should be accorded that platform to be able to empower themselves, going to school, further their education, which I'm very proud of multimedia. They do that. They give you the leeway to go to school, empower yourself, and become better. And when you're better, you provide better. Your output is better, on the show and whatnot. And not leaving our children as well. Children need to, reach their full potential. And with our Chapter 5 of the Constitution, which gives a broad, how they call it, knowledge about the rights, our human rights in this country as well as elsewhere, other, countries. I think we should, learn about these rights. Everybody has access to the Constitution. We all do. When we, educate ourselves on Chapter 5 of the Constitution, all this is there. And I think so far Ghana is doing well, but we can do more.
Absolutely. Sweetie, answer the team this year. And whilst you're an artist, I want you to touch on the concern that men raise, that why shall I give you the opportunity? I haven't been given the opportunity. The opportunity is there. Why is the Constitution saying that we should give women and children the opportunity? Why aren't women taking the opportunity themselves?
I like how you angle the question, Erefa. We come from a deeply patriarchal, historical society as Ghanaians, as Africans. And even if you want to, contrast that with biblical times, women have always had a place. In the same way, our traditional environments create a place for the woman. And so we've made progress. Centuries, decades down the line, women are able to vote, own property. But as we speak, there are women in Afghanistan and some parts of the country who cannot go to nursing school, cannot go to school at all. And so they have to, escape their own country so they can even wear their own hair the way they want. What this means to me is that the time it takes to change the narrative, it doesn't happen in a decade or decades or a century, because this is a deeply systemic issue.
Indeed it is.
Even in the workplace, there are systemic sexist issues that go on that we may not be able to even, wax lyrical on. And the same thing happens in families, in homes. Everyone wants you to know that you are a woman. And because you have a different sex organ, there are things that you can and cannot do. And there's a way you can do it and how you cannot do it because you're a woman. For me, what this theme means is that men should get on board, lock in with us, and fight with us, because we're not fighting to be men. I don't want to be a man. I do not want to be a man, I want the man to appreciate my own strengths and unique weaknesses the same way I appreciate his weaknesses and strengths. And that's what we're looking for, So when you talk about equality, empowerment, and rights, we're asking that don't be so triggered when a woman is telling you that I can actually step outside the brackets that you've created for me. Believe it or not, men were the ones who put us in this place. They decide that you're a woman, so you can't do this, you can do that. And you sound like a feminist when you go on and on about this.
To jump in there, sometimes still women are the authors of our own downfall. I've heard too many times, I don't like a woman boss. I don't like a woman being the head of affairs because of the way, you know, they go about it.
But
they
let's ask
lord
Sarah.
it.
Sarah, would you
they lord it over them.
Would you rather have a woman boss or a male boss?
A male boss, always, every day, seriously.
Why?
Because
That's bad.
I've had experiences with women, and it was so bad. At the end, they tend to, I don't know if it's, can I say envy?
I'm not too sure.
No, I don't think it's that.
But I always get enough opportunities when I'm around men. They give you the opportunity to do stuff, but a woman will never
Could
do it.
could it be that because generally women think that opportunities are quite limited, and so when they have it, why should they be sharing? Okay. I go back to again what Mamiesi said about laws. Again, our laws are quite masculine. In fact, in the criminal laws in this country, did you know that a judge, a Supreme Court judge, defined rape in a different way and said that brushing does not amount to rape?
It doesn't. Actually, penetration.
Penetration is rape. And you ask the question, how is somebody defining how I feel about a certain action? In fact, extreme provocation, when a man is provocated because, for example, they chanced on their wife being taken by another man, they can plead a defense in that form of extreme provocation. And so our laws really puts us in a way that is a bit masculine. And so from that starting point, when a woman gets a small opportunity, they think that the opportunity is small.
We can't limit this conversation to just the four of us.
Of course, no.
We have many women here. The JoyNews women are here with us in the studio, and they have to join us for this conversation. MFA, let's welcome Jackie. We have Jennifer joining us.
Mama V coming in, Hannah coming in.
Yes, thank you
I'm
so
sensing
much.
that by this time there's Abla de Souza watching us from the newsroom, preparing a bulletin. There's MFA watching us.
Well, unfortunately, she's also watching.
Doreen Ando, Faustina Ando.
Right. Ladies, welcome. So MFA was just giving us an angle on why it's important that we emphasize the need for equality, rights, and empowerment. And we're discussing how that resonates with each one of us. MFA.
Well, so Jackie, what's Jackie?
We'll pick up from
where Sarah said, because it is a big elephant in the room that women don't like to talk about.
I think Hannah will be, before we come to Jackie.
Go, Hannah.
Why do you want to?
I really want to hear from Hannah.
Exactly what you want to hear.
Hannah, would you like to work with a male boss or a female boss? Let's simplify the question.
I don't really mind.
Nice.
I don't.
Okay, depends on
I can work under anyone.
But you know, multimedia has very great women bosses.
Yeah, we do.
MFA Power for one. I love her so much, and she knows wherever she is.
Just get the job done. I know, right? You need to get the job done.
And she will ensure that. And we have fantastic bosses. Kojo, forgive me, Kweku Owusu Pepra, Evans Mensah, Fred Smith, Fifi Kumsin, all of them, they do so well to push women.
Yes.
As for multimedia, I give it to multimedia any day. But Jackie, what do you think?
Would you rather a male boss or a female boss?
I think you're putting me in the tight corner, but to be sincere with you, personally, Jackie, I think, well, I resonate well with...
Come on, Jackie.
In the box, you know.
Do you like a male boss over a female boss?
But why do you want to make that
over a male boss?
distinction of who you...
That's the whole point. So you're putting me in the boss. We're just
What's your
measuring
experience?
comfortability for young people who watch and say, hey, no, is she a woman? No, I don't want to work with her. Oh. But we're just trying to understand it. Is it just a facade or is it real?
I think when it comes to women bosses, they have a way of doing things. It's like they want things done in a certain way, but usually the men might be a bit flexible. But working with female bosses, even though it might be stressful, but the work is done in a very good way. You might not like it, but in the end, I mean, it's perfect. So,
Mama,
so you prefer
Mama, use your
I prefer the men, but the woman, I mean, it's superb whenever the work is being done.
Mama V.
We have just about 10 minutes before we get to the icing on the cake. But let's
Mama V,
hear.
So I would like to work with a female boss because they have a way of doing things, like things should be done in a certain way.
Perfection.
And, they are so perfectionist and they make the work so easy. If you know how to handle them, you are good to go. So female bosses every day.
Hey.
How are we supposed to handle
agree
them?
with you.
The female bosses.
You just have to study how
They are in
want
experience.
You get to know their terrain and it's easy for you to work with them.
So hold on, like I said earlier, I don't mind who I work under. because it's just about getting the work done.
Really?
So the women bosses, as you have all said, they are perfectionists, which is true. Because if I want it white, it should be white. But then if you understand why the person wants it that way, you would definitely go for that. So I think that regardless of who you are working, just have it at the back of your mind. It's the work that has to be done. When you come to Joy Newsroom, you see it's about results.
Okay.
So just get it done. And then don't think about the fact that it's a woman and so she's so difficult, it's a man, she'll be flexible. That's true. That's true.
And that is very true. Because
it's true.
Everyone Spencer is shouted and every papa is also shouting.
Everybody. It's true. Everybody to that. But just get it.
3 minutes to go, right? And I need to share my thoughts on this issue. I actually disagree when I hear women say that women bosses are some way, you know.
Because you have not experienced it.
No.
Have you?
But have you? Let me
have you experienced
it? Wait. So what I'm saying is that I've worked with the same number of male bosses as I've worked with the same number of female bosses.
Yeah. That's some good ratio.
Seriously, from my personal experience.
So
and every time I, have an issue with a male boss, the same strategy I use to solve the issue is the same strategy I use for the women. And I understand that as women, we are sensitive to women and our mannerisms and the way we,
and preconceived notions.
Hold on a second. And so sometimes, because of that sensitivity, we are looking at the woman just doing her job as, she's just being a bit much. Oh, she's uppity and all that. But truly, if you look past your sensitivity to women issues and look at how her strategy works for her in the workplace, you just might be able to navigate around her. So it doesn't come with what sex organ you have.
It's about English. So which one? It's playing
It's not about a man or a woman.
Let me correct this. Let me correct
this. This is her story.
It's not all women
Of course not. In fact, the question is not to prove better. We're only sharing
women bosses. Some of them. Yeah. And even men can be very, they can be overbearing sometimes.
Guys,
often, I hear people tell me that I prefer a male boss to a female boss because of how they are. Okay. Now, so I think that, just to end my...
Can we then say that it's about an individual experience?
My submission, to end my submission, this is what I say, that women should be accommodative. They should go beyond their emotions.
7 days out of the month, I can't be accommodating. I'm in my period, my hormones are kicking in. I need the job done.
If you know that day, that time of the month, you can't be able to, give off your best at work. Just take some time off work and stay at home.
That's a lot of time in the year.
Ladies, that's a lot of time. Actually, we started discussing what equality, rights, and empowerment mean to us. Somehow we've landed in this interesting conversation about male bosses and women bosses.
Women as usual.
But guess what? So there's this lovely woman who owns a cake business who's decided that for today, as we're marking International Women's Day, she's going to sponsor us with a beautiful cake to officially mark the celebration. Please, let's welcome Ida on stage.
Hi,
Ida. Please just stay right here.
We haven't heard Loretta. Loretta, at least give us one
minute.
Yes.
What
we won't take the microphone
about today.
And Ida, we also have to tell us what today means to you before we get into this beautiful cake that you're doing. Loretta, there's a question about, the central theme of today, which is tomorrow, which is for all women and girls. Rights, equality, empowerment. Somehow we managed to get the conversation to how easy or difficult it is to work with women bosses. What's your take on the matter, briefly? Male bosses or female bosses, and why?
I can work with both, but I feel women don't like women bosses because sometimes, as women, we create unhealthy competition in our minds, and because of that, you are in some silent competition with the person, but the person doesn't know, honestly. But the person doesn't know. You are going about your duties, but the person is in a competition with you. And sometimes it creates friction.
That's a really beautiful point. Thank you so much. Now let's listen to Ida. Ida made this beautiful cake for us. Ida, we are celebrating International Women's Day today. We are marking it on Joy News, and you've presented this beautiful cake for us to, cut, eat, make merry, and all that. What does today mean for you as a woman? What does today mean to you as a woman? Please share your thoughts with us briefly. What is the significance of International Women's Day for you as a business owner?
Okay, so first, today is quite a special day because we women are being acknowledged. And we all know it's not easy to be a woman, actually. We go through so much phases of life that it's not really something we can even share sometimes. We go through so much and we still keep quiet about it. And then we are still going about with our duties. And then for us to be women in business, having children, and all that together, sometimes it's a lot. So today means a lot to me.
All right.
That's why I decided to bake for today's day.
Thank you so much.
Stop it.
Thank you all so much. We'll be getting into the cake. We'll all stand up and cut it in a bit. But I just want to remind you that for the rest of today, be on the lookout for our special features that will be showing across all bulletins. Right after we end the segment, we'll be showing you some of those features, news desk, JN Today, everywhere. We'll be showing you stories of phenomenal women across all bulletins, and of course, our hashtag JoyNews Women series, where we'll be highlighting who the women are working around the clock every day to bring you those powerful stories on JoyNews. But for now, ladies, shall we get into this?
I can do it on your behalf. On social media.
So, hold on. The campaign for International Women's Day, the slogan is Accelerate Action. So how about we start by, I'll say out the theme, and then we end by Accelerate Action. Shall we do this?
Sure.
Well, International Women's Day 2025 for all women and girls' rights, equality, empowerment. Accelerate Action! Well, thank you all so much, and you are all part of this. We all planned this together. Thank you, MFA the T. Thank you, Mami Thompson. Thank you, Ida, for this beautiful cake. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you all so much.
Ida, don't worry. It's not a